Since time immemorial, God has always communicated himself and his will through various voices: the prophets, the kings, the judges, not forgetting John the Baptist, who was a precursor to Jesus Christ and gave us the will of God. We bring to you Voices from the Valley. This is a program designed by the Conventual Franciscan Friars in Ghana in collaboration with Cafdil TV to bring you in-depth insight in our faith, catechesis, and various Catholic teachings which will help you in your journey as a pilgrim. I know you cannot miss this program, and I highly encourage you that you shouldn't miss this program because it is Voices of God from the Valley of prayer and silence. Join us this and every Sunday at 3 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. here on Cafdil TV and on our various social media platforms: YouTube, Cafdil EDU, and Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast. Let us meet and share what God has for us through the Voices from the Valley.
Make me a means of your peace.
As I kneel before you, as I bow my head in prayer, take this day, make it yours, and fill me with your love.
To the Marist Brothers community, Marist Brothers of the school is purely for brotherhood vocation. They are only brothers, so to say. And we are here to have a conversation with one of them. Let's take a short break here. When we come back, the conversation will begin. This is Cafdil Television. Welcome back. This is Religious Vocation Digest here on Cafdil TV. I am Sister Marian, your host. Religious Vocation Digest, as we started airing it from last year, this year we are focusing more on vocation stories of religious men and women, or consecrated men and women. And for this reason, we have traveled to Kumasi Bokrom Estate to have a conversation with a Marist brother. So brother, I'll go to brother, and then brother will introduce himself to us, and then we begin, or we continue from there. Brother, good evening and welcome to Cafdil TV.
Good evening, and thank you for coming all the way from Cape Coast to interview me. I am Brother Philip Ninfaasie Yob. I come from Hamele in the Upper West region.
Okay.
Hamele is a border town bordering Burkina Faso.
Okay.
We are a family of 8 siblings. From my father's first marriage, I have an elder sister and an elder brother. From my mother's first marriage, I have another elder sister, an elder brother, and an elder sister. Additionally, from my parents' marriage, I have an elder sister, a younger sister, and a younger brother. I am a marist, as sister has already introduced or said about me. I belong to the Marist congregation, which is a religious congregation of teachers. I have been in vows or religious vows since 1987, making it 37 years now.
Okay.
My previous and current ministries and apostolates. Throughout my 37 years of religious life, I have engaged in diverse apostolates and ministries dedicated to serving communities through education, evangelization, and pastoral care. My ministry has encompassed the following. With 2 decades of dedicated service as a teacher and headmaster, I had the privilege of leading the first and only senior high technical school established by my congregation in our country, Ghana. Beyond the school itself, we pioneered an innovative, integral education system that combined formal education, functional literacy, and informal education to serve the broader community where we lived. This approach fostered holistic learning, equipping both the students and community members with practical skills, academic knowledge, and lifelong learning opportunities. Our initiative transformed the entire village into an educational environment, fostering collaboration with agricultural extension officers to enhance farming practices and improve productivity. Additionally, we invited nutritionists to educate residents on the principles of good nutrition, proper food choices, and healthy eating habits, empowering them to make informed dietary decisions and promoting overall well-being. Following my tenure in school leadership, I transitioned into formation work, serving as a formator at our postulancy, where I guided and mentored aspiring members of our religious community.
Which year?
This was after my encounter as a missionary in Mission Adgentis Intergentis in China, and so that was the year 2017. 2018. Okay. This role came after my return from Mission Adgentis, as I have just said, in China. Yeah. Now, my pastoral ministry. This was the second ministry because I'm mainly into three ministries or apostolates: education, pastoral care, and evangelization. So during my tenure as a teacher and headmaster in the hinterlands of the Amasia East District of the Ashanti region, I remained deeply committed to serving the Catholic communities in my vicinity. Alongside my educational responsibilities, I provided communion services, offered spiritual guidance, and facilitated sacramental preparation, ensuring that parishioners felt supported in their faith journey. My dedication to pastoral care and spiritual leadership earned me the affectionate name Esiase Bishop, a testament to the reverence the community placed in me. Evangelization and missionary work in China. In response to Pope John Paul II's call to missionaries to Asia, my congregation wholeheartedly embraced the mission, preparing and inviting members to take on this vital apostolic endeavor. I was among the courageous ones who volunteered for the China mission, a challenging and formidable mission field. The Catholic presence in China dates back to the 13th century when John of Montecovino, an Italian Franciscan missionary, introduced it there. However, significant strides were not made until the 16th century when Jesuit missionaries such as Matthew Ricci implemented a strategic approach that engaged Chinese scholars. Ricci skillfully adapted Christian teaching to Confucian traditions, fostering intellectual and cultural exchanges that shaped the future of Catholicism in China. By the 18th century, Catholicism faced major setbacks due to the Chinese rights controversy, which led to imperial restrictions on Christian practices. Despite these challenges, Catholic communities persevered, and by the 20th century, the faith had established a stronger presence. However, with the rise of the Communist Party of China, the CCP, the condition changed, shifted. It shifted drastically with the expulsion of all foreign missionaries from China and the establishment of the China Catholic Patriotic Association, Chongguo Tianju Jiao Aiguo Hui.
That's the translation in Chinese.
Yes, in Chinese.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I will say more of that later. This actually operated independently of the Vatican. In fact, it is seen as a cult, sort of a cult, and placed under the Ministry of History and Culture in China. Functioning in alignment with state-controlled religious oversight, its overarching aim was to preserve Chinese cultural identity by minimizing external religious influences and preventing perceived ideological adulteration. Despite these challenges, my congregation made a courageous decision to proceed with missionary work in China. So in 2006, the very first batch of Frey brothers were sent, followed by 3 more in 2008, including myself. Over the subsequent years, 5 additional brothers joined the mission, but due to increasing difficult conditions, many were forced to abandon their efforts or were advised to do so. By the time I departed in 2016, only 3 brothers were left in China, who themselves left the country 2 to 3 years later. Now, mission work in China. It was a unique journey of faith and service. From 2008 to 2016, I served as a missionary in China, dedicated to advancing or propagating the gospel through diverse apostolic engagements. Missionary work in China is a distinct and demanding endeavor requiring tact, courage, and unwavering faith to navigate the complexities of its socio-political and religious landscape. To operate effectively within the environment, I strategically established a joint business enterprise as a businessman, allowing me to adapt to the local context while maintaining discretion in my ministry. Separate from this, I operated within a network-based framework, which enabled me to actively engage with Catholic circles and fostered relationships with the faith community. Through this approach, I participated in Catholic education, conducted catechism classes, supported youth ministry initiatives, facilitated campus outreach, and promoted vocations. These efforts allowed me to nurture the faith of students and young Chinese believers, deepen their understanding of Christian values, and in some cases guided them to join the faith, to convert towards the church. Indeed, I was the vocations director, and I'm proud to say that we have not labored in vain, because we had about 5 Chinese who joined us and were trained outside in the Philippines and in Sri Lanka. But now I can boast of 3 of them who have remained, and therefore the mission strives on. It is worth noting that in China, products and creations often exist in 3 distinct forms. Gender, the genuine, authentic, and true ones, or representing the original, legitimate version of whatever it is. Then we have the jada, the fake. A false deception, a deceptive imitation, often created to mislead. It's illegal. Then you have the shanjai, The counterfeit, imitations or replicas that may not only copy the original, but sometimes introduces unexpected innovations. Similarly, the Catholic Church in China manifests in these three dimensions, as I have mentioned. We have the Zhongguo Tianju Jiaohui. Zhongguo Tianju Jiaohui, which is the underground church, the loyal one, or the original comparatively, that is so loyal to Rome. Then you have the Zhongguo Tianju Chaoai Guohui, literally translated as the Chinese Catholic loving government church, or the patriotic church. The patriotic church, yeah, okay. And this is, for me, a kind of a cult. So they operate on their own. Then, without any link to Rome, they don't actually recognize the authority of Rome. Then we have the Zhongqian Chaohui, which is the middle ground church, or the middle church of China. It is a self-described bridge between the underground and patriotic churches, navigating a delicate balance between the two. I operated in all three forms of churches, or three forms of the Catholic Church in China, navigating the complexities of each as a missionary. Life in China was as exhilarating as it was frightening, offering profound experiences that continuously tested my faith, resilience, and personal resolve. It became a true school of faith, a transformative expedition that deepened my spiritual foundation and strengthened my convictions amid moments of uncertainty and challenge. My current apostolate. Although I retired as a senior citizen a decade ago, I remain deeply involved in education, overseeing all the schools of my congregation in Ghana to ensure their continued growth and excellence. So I think I have finished with that part.
You've really worked. So how was the experience in China on a normal ground? Learning the language?
Yeah, actually it was, I'm told that Chinese is the most difficult language in the world, seconded by Polish, and then the third is Arabic. And so it was quite a challenge.
Okay.
And given the fact that I was there at my golden age, or above 50 years. Okay. And so I was in class. I went to the university, to do what you call it, mission. You need certainly the culture and the language. Yeah. And so I was in the classroom with younger children, who could be my grannies. But I managed. I coped, and I was able to do 4 years of Chinese language, and I got a certificate for that. Wow. Yeah. And now, after that, I had now to plunge into the real work And it was quite an experience. Yeah. And, it would take me days to explain what really.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Anyway, so now let's come back to how you became a brother.
Okay.
How did
So my story.
your story begin?
Okay. Well, so although I was raised up in a predominantly Catholic family and environment, I became a lapsed Catholic when I was 20, at the age of, in my teenagers, until I was 25. And in my search for deeper meaning and fulfillment, I explored various spiritual paths, seeking guidance from a Malam, spiritualist, African traditional religionists, the other Protestant churches, and even Hinduism. This journey ultimately led me to a profound religious awakening, marked by transformative encounters and deep reflections that brought me back to my father's faith as a true religion. I believe that it was a special plan of God to take me through all these experiences to receive my own faith. As I immersed myself in my renewed faith, I was overwhelmed by God's boundless love and mercy, so much so that I could not hold back my gratitude. So in response, I chose to dedicate my life entirely and selflessly to His cause through the vocation of religious brotherhood.
Okay. So, just as you mentioned, it wasn't that growing up you were stuck in the Catholic faith such that you saw brothers, you saw priests, so therefore you decided to be one of them. But then going through all those stages in your life, as in finding the true faith and then finally coming back to the Catholic faith, you decided to dedicate yourself to the service of God.
It was overwhelming, yes,
Good.
indeed. Yes.
Good. So when you finally wanted to be a brother, you knew they were priests and you knew they were brothers. Why did you consider brotherhood vocation? Because I know many young men of today will prefer being a priest. Why should they be a brother when they can be priest?
Okay. Well, although several of my siblings embraced religious life as sisters and a priest, who even later became the bishop of my diocese.
Who is he?
Bishop Paul Bemile. Yeah. I remained distant from my faith during my teenage years, as I have mentioned, and never envisioned myself following the same path. However, at the age of 25, a profound religious experience awakened deeper spiritual commitment within me, ultimately leading me to embrace the religious vocation. This was hardly a conundrum. Choosing this was hardly a conundrum. When I made the decision to dedicate my life fully to God in gratitude for the boundless love and mercy, it became clear that there was a vacuum in my own family, because I have the sisters and a priest, but there was no brother in the family. Okay. So, yeah, it was. So it facilitated my choice. One area. Okay. Then, while working as a migrant in the Diocese of Kumasi, I realized that there was no established religious congregation of brothers. And apart from Father Brown's ministry, a monastery.
Okay.
Yeah. As I contemplated joining this monastery, a trusted friend from the Legion of Mary advised me to consider the Maris Brothers, an international congregation soon to arrive in the country from Nigeria, or to arrive in the diocese from Nigeria. Following this guidance, I met with the diocesan vocations director, who then connected me with the vocations director of the Maris Brothers in Nigeria. And providentially, I joined the Legion of Mary community, which was devoted to our mother, devoted to our mother, Mother Mary. So through my later, as I contacted the vocations director, through our interactions, and then when the brothers finally came to Ghana, and I was with them, I realized that their charism, their spirituality, the Marial spirituality, their charism, teaching charism of helping young ones, to become God-fearing and good citizens of their respective countries. The Maris Brothers arrived in the diocese. I became their first candidate. Soon after, 7 others joined, and we were invited to begin our apostolancy. However, only 3 of us advanced to the novitiate. And ultimately, only 2 of us persevered through the formation. Tragically, my twin religious brother passed away 3 years ago whilst on mission in Cambodia.
May God rest his soul.
Amen. And so, as a starter, as a pioneer, I'm the only one left, actually, in my batch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So, I'm right to say you are the first Ghanaian marriage.
I wouldn't say so, because actually the Archbishop Emeritus, who was the bishop of the then diocese, not archdiocese, of Kumasi, saw this lacuna of not having brothers' congregation in his diocese. And so he started preparing for one to be established here. So he sent a few brothers to Nigeria. But unfortunately, after their profession, they were not long in the life, and then they left. But then the second batch that he sent there, we still have at least one of them.
Still with
And
you.
so I would say that he was
First.
pioneer, he was first.
Okay.
But for those of us who really started here, the formation here,
Okay.
I would say that I was the one.
Okay. Yeah. So, in your 37 years in the religious life, what do you like
38,
most? 38. Okay. In the religious life, what do you like most about living in a community?
Yeah, religious community life is deeply intriguing or fascinating, as it harmonizes spiritual devotion, shared purpose, and deep sense of belonging. These are core. Then, as you know, community or communion is not only important, but crucial to the church's life. So God intended that we humans live in communion as one indissoluble family. The Holy Trinity is the perfect community and the model of community life. The life and essence of the Trinity is living convivially in a bond of union or communion. And he intended for us to be drawn into this, his very life of union, to enjoy eternal happiness in and with him. So the concept of communion, as articulated in Vita Consecrata, is a profound reflection on the nature of religious life and its role in mirroring the divine communion of the Trinity. So this notion, characterized by an eternal exchange of love among the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Therefore, religious individuals are seen not just as people living together, but as a dynamic community that embodies the Trinitarian relationship marked by mutual love, self-giving, and a shared mission. So this is it. If you are asking me what is the value, it's a beautiful value. Communion. Community life is communion. That's what is attracting me. I enjoy it. Okay?
Yeah. That's very true. We would talk about the challenges about community life.
Yes.
I know both the young and old are having their own experiences with community life. And then there is always the other side of the coin. So this is Religious Vocation Digest on Cafdil TV. If you're just joining us, we are also live on Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, YouTube, Cafdil EDU. Let's take a short break here. We will come back later. You're welcome back from that short break. This is Religious Vocation Digest. Today we are coming to you from the marriage community at Kumasi Bokrom Estate, and I'm having this discussion with Brother Philip, a married brother. Brother, what do you make of community life today?
Religious community life today is evolving in a profound way, or in profound ways, so to say. While traditional forms of communal living remain foundational, modern communities are increasingly shaped by technology, social movement, and shifting cultural values. I start with the digital connectivity. Online platforms and social media have revolutionized our religious communities, engage, fostering virtual support networks and global connections. These digital spaces enable members to share faith experiences, access spiritual resources, and maintain a sense of communion despite geographical distances. Challenge of modern society. Despite the benefits of connectivity, religious consumerism, and hedonism, these social trends often challenge the values of simplicity, selflessness, and spiritual devotion that are central to religious life. Declining esteem for moral and exemplary living. The traditional ideals of moral integrity and communal witness are no longer held in the same high regard. As secular influences grow stronger, religious communities must reaffirm their commitment to living as beacons of faith, service, and fraternity, demonstrating that a life rooted in spiritual values remains both relevant and transformative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my take there.
So, in your own opinion, why do you think religious life is not attractive to the youth of today? Something that you think scares them away from religious life?
I think it is this scare of not having family, and then vowing for life, dedicating one's life completely to the cause of God without the earthly attractions of money, materialism and the rest that I have mentioned. But particularly, people are afraid of not having a family and losing their family, and family with children and that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's hard to think about the idea of giving up
Yes,
the chance to be married and
that's
have
right.
kids.
Yes.
Making a decision to be a brother, did you have all these things running through your mind? And do you have any regrets today that you didn't marry to have your own children?
I have never really regretted my choice of vocation as a religious brother.
Okay.
It has never occurred to me the lack of not having family or wife or children. That's not it. I have remained convicted, convinced, and dedicated to my choice, relying always on the grace and mercy of God.
Yeah. So, based on what you have said, or in view of what you have said, what can you tell the young men today who are considering religious life?
Okay. My advice to the young ones is that, you need a vocation in your life to answer the will or tally with the will of God for you. So He has intended some way of life for you through which your life will be fulfilled, And therefore, there's a need for young ones to actually painstakingly discern their vocation. And this, I will advise that you do through a deepened prayer life. You spend time in personal prayer and ask God for clarity. Regular spiritual reflection should help in discerning your vocation. And you should seek guidance. You talk to spiritual directors priests or religious brothers and sisters who can offer wisdom and guidance. Then you should learn about the different congregations. Religious orders differ in their charism and spirituality. Therefore, you need to explore this. You have to visit them, their community, or whatever, to see for yourselves before making the decision. Then you need to spend time with religious, well, I've said that, to trust in God's plan. If you feel drawn to religious life, trust that God will provide the strength and grace to follow it. Yeah.
What then do you make of the decline in the Catholic population in Ghana? It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big deal. This one, I'm afraid I will not be diplomatic enough. I may have to be saying things that will put me in trouble, you know. So I don't know whether I should say them.
Go ahead.
Okay, the decline in Catholic population in Ghana has been a growing concern, particularly highlighted by the 2021 population and housing census, which showed a significant drop in Catholicism or Catholics from 18% to 10%. And what are the factors contributing to this, in my opinion? Catechesis and faith formation. One, weak catechetical instructions has led to a lack of deep understanding of Catholic teachings and making it easier for members to drift away. That's one for me. Then the second one is declining esteem for moral and exemplary leadership. We are all there. So in recent times, the integrity and moral standing of some church leaders, including bishops, priests, religious men and women, and catechists, have been increasingly scrutinized due to instances of scandalous behavior, ethical lapses, and a departure from the principles of upright living. This reality underscores the urgent need for deep self-reflection, introspection, and a thorough examination of leadership within the church. Then there is this issue of monetization of the Catholic Church. The spiritual mission of the Catholic Church appears to be increasingly overshadowed by financial interests, with some institutions resembling commercial enterprises rather than centers of faith and service. The growing emphasis on wealth accumulation, extravagant lifestyle, and financial transactions within certain Catholic circles has raised concerns about the integrity of spiritual leadership and the church's true purpose. Then, while financial resources are essential for sustaining ministry, supporting charitable works, and maintaining places of worship, an excessive focus on monetary gain risks fundamental mission of spiritual, distorting the essence of Catholic faith. This trend challenges the Church's fundamental mission of spiritual guidance, moral leadership, and selfless service, prompting calls for a renewed commitment to authenticity and responsible stewardship of resources. Then, finally, the appeal of Pentecostal charismatic churches to Ghanaian Catholics. In recent years, many Ghanaian Catholics have been increasingly drawn to Pentecostal charismatic churches, captivated by their charismatic worship styles, emphasis on personal spiritual experiences, and messages of prosperity, of course. Unlike the structured and traditional liturgical practices of Catholicism, these churches often offer highly energetic and emotionally engaging services, incorporating vibrant music, spontaneous prayer, and prophetic declarations that resonate deeply with worshippers. For some Ghanaian Catholics, the culture of these churches stems from a desire for a more personalized and experiential approach to faith, one that appears to offer immediate solution to its challenges.
This issue of Catholic youth living in the church is of great concern. So therefore, any guest that appears on my show, I ask the person about it so that as we listen to advice or advices from various angles, at least the youth, as and when they watch the program, will learn something from it, because it's like we are talking, we are making noise, we all know, we are all aware that this is the situation of the church. But then we all have to contribute so that whatever factors are contributing to this decline in our population, we can all help to make things work again. Yeah. We are almost wrapping up on today's edition of Religious Vocation Digest. So, brother, your final words.
Oh, my final words, let me see. I will like to entreat leadership of the church to actually sit up and try to analyze and diagnose the situation, which is really alarming, so that we can come out with programs that will be able to address the situation of our church members leaving the church. I will also entreat religious groups, religious congregations to take the life of communion very seriously, because I think it is the last thing that remains. Our world is polarized. So we need actually to show to the world, as Pope John Paul II puts it in Vita Consacrata, that we are experts of communion. So we should be able to live in ways that shows or give the model to the world that it is possible for people of different walks of life, different races, different continents, different cultures, to live together under one roof as children of the Father.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for welcoming us into your home, and also for sharing your vocation story with us, especially the one from China, your experience working in China. We are grateful, and I believe that whatever you have shared with us today will go a long way to help our youth out there, and even ourselves as religious men and women, taking our community life seriously and then being there for one another. We are grateful to you, brother.
The pleasure is actually mine. And as you continue from here to the north on your mission, your apostolate, it's my prayer that God will be with you through it all, that it will be successful, and that what you are doing will actually help enlighten people not only Catholics, but the rest of people of the other walks of life, and possibly even help in the conversion of people to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are grateful to you, brother.
Okay.
As Catholics, we are well informed that we are in a Jubilee year. And for the Catholic Archdiocese of Cape Coast, it's a double Jubilee because the Archdiocese is also celebrating 75 years as an Archdiocese. Therefore, when you pray, you say a prayer for us in the Archdiocese of Cape Coast because we have double Jubilee celebration. The celebration is ongoing, activities are ongoing. There are 1 or 2 activities which is being done. But then I'll still ask for your prayers. When you say a prayer, remember the Catholic Archdiocese of Cape Coast. And let us all try to be pilgrims of hope. Till we meet again next week. This has been Religious Vocation Digest on Cafdil TV. Good night.
Since time immemorial, God has always communicated himself and his will through various voices, the prophets, the kings, the judges, not forgetting John the Baptist, who was a precursor to Jesus Christ and gave us the will of God. We bring to you Voices from the Valley. This is a program designed by the Conventual Franciscan Friars in Ghana in collaboration with Cafdil TV to bring you in-depth insight in our faith, catechesis, and various Catholic teachings which will help you in your journey as a pilgrim. I know you cannot miss this program, and I highly encourage you that you shouldn't miss this program because it is Voices of God from the valley of prayer and silence. Join us this and every Sunday at 3 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. here on Cafdil TV and on our various social media platforms, YouTube, Cafdil EDU, and Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast. Let us meet and share what God has for us through the Voices from the Valley.
Make me a means of your peace.